Welcome to our presentation on esports in Korea. My name is Nancy Ben-Yager.
My name is Joseph McCray.
And I'm Angel Galan.
All three of us have a unique interest in gaming and chose esports as our topic for our presentation. This presentation will be on the rise of esports in South Korea, focusing on how gaming became a national phenomenon. What are some video games you all play? I know some of y'all probably play video games if you're watching this video. Put your answers down below in the comments. Joseph, what are some video games you play?
I've been enjoying more of the competitive games such as League of Legends, as well as this early access game. It's not actually released yet, Deadlock.
Oh, cool, cool. And what about you, Angel?
Just like Joseph said, I've also been enjoying a early access game called Deadlock. But outside of that, I also like to play small indie games, and some other games I also like are Destiny 2 and Roblox.
Very good picks.
Totally get that. Spent a lot of time on Roblox, too much time, and money as well. But let's get into what esports are. Esports are video games that are played in highly organized competitive environments. We've got some examples of some games that are played. We've got League of Legends, we've got Overwatch, we've got StarCraft, and we've got PUBG. These are all games that are um, highly popular in competitive environments and also non competitive environments. Now, let's get into the birth of esports in Korea. Starting with the late 90s, specifically 1997, we have the Asian financial crisis, which led to cheap entertainment needed. During this time, a lot of young adults were unemployed and they turned to entertainment in times of struggle. And gaming just turned out to be a popular source of entertainment for these young adults. Next, we have the time period of 1998 to 2004. This is the StarCraft era and rise of professionalization. TESPA, which is Korean Esports Association, was found in 2000, which helped legitimize esports, increasing the professionalization of this career. Next, we have 2005 to 2013. This is the golden age and global influence. Global tournaments began, and the term pro gamer became recognized as a real career path. So more and more people are aspiring to be a pro gamer, and that is not such a crazy a career to aspire to be in. Next, we have 2013 to present times. This is modern. This is a time of modern esports expansion. Now we're seeing a rise in mobile and console culture. I know when I was young, I started with a DS, and now you see a lot of people with Switches. And also during this time, there was an increase in government investments. Let's get into how the government really played a crucial part in the expansion of esports. So some of the policies and initiatives that they had during that time is that they invested in high speed internet. Obviously, we need good internet to play our games efficiently. And also, the government supported PC bong growth. And PC bongs are places where gamers commune to game and just have community. Um, the government also founded KESPA, and KESPA in the States is like NFL to football. KESPA is um, esports. It's KESPA to esports in South Korea. Next, the government recognized esports as an official industry. When it's recognized as an official industry, you have more and more people who are willing to actually invest in gaming and actually want to be a gamer. Next, the government funded tech and youth programs, so more youth are able to start learning how to play these games competitively, and it just grows the sport from a young age. And next we have the government partnered with major tech companies like SK Telecom and KT partnered with the government, which encouraged the investment into esports subculture, which also aided in the growth of esports to the billion-dollar industry, which it is now today. Now let's get into how fast internet correlates with the esports explosion. We're having early nationwide high speed internet, low lag networks enabled real time competitive play. Also seeing affordable PC bongs, pardon me, for fast online gaming. We're also seeing a rise of live streaming and esports. You see platforms like Twitch and Kick and YouTube streaming, which are popular in the States. This has that helps with the advertisement of esports, and it just brings a wider audience to esports. Next, we have government and tech giants, which funded pro leagues and teams. The more funding you have, the more things and you're able to do, and it just helps with the expansion of esports. Now, I'm going to hand it over to Angel, who's going to go more in depth with what PC bongs are.
Thank you, Nancy. And as she was saying, I'm going to talk more about how big PC bong culture is and specifically what they are. So, PC bongs are these popular locations that are set up all throughout South Korea where you can go there and you can pay a fee for entry, and then once you're inside, you get to gain access to all these computers where bes- besides video games, which are the main purpose of these places, you can use them for finishing work or anything, but here we're mainly talking about its main focus, which is video games. And these popular these places are really popular because they have fast internet and have easy access to a lot of games that people can really play without having to own their own computers. And so once you're here, all you'd have to do is log in with your account onto specific services such as Steam, Epic, or EA, and you can play a bunch of games that are already pre-downloaded on these computers. And on the right, you can see a list of some of the popular games that are offered, such as League of Legends, PUBG, Overwatch, StarCraft, and a bunch of other ones. But moving further on, PC bongs are also known for their are also known as PC cafes because of all the food that's offered there. So, besides just going there to play games, a lot of people go there to interact and socialize with others. And what better way to socialize with food than with food? So, at these PC bongs, they'll have their own personalized websites where you can go there. You can go online and you can order whatever you want. And on the left, you can see an example of some of the food they offer, and such as tteokbokki, ramen, and other snacks and drinks. Now, besides PC bongs, want to dive more into the professional sides of esports, and these are two prominent figures who I'm going to start with on the right. And this this is Faker. He is the goat of South Korean esports, mainly speaking of League of Legends. And his real name is Lee Sang-hyuk, and he has won 6 world championships in League of Legends from 2013, 2015, 2016, and 3 consecutive years, 2023, 2024, and this year's 2025 World Championship of League of Legends. But besides his popularity in esports, he has also become popular in streaming, and he streams on or he used to stream on Twitch, but due to his contract with his team and T1, he now only streams for a South Korean streaming service called SOOP. And the other famous player I want to talk about is Boxer, and he's considered the pioneer of esports. His real name is Lim Yo-hwan, and he is a former professional StarCraft player. His popularity was his popularity over a 12-year career is shown through the fact that he's earned a nickname in the game for playing as the Emperor of Tehran, which is one of the races you can play as in StarCraft. So his insane skills in StarCraft earned him that nickname. And after a 12-year career, he decided to retire from playing, and then he signed as a coach for T1 for 1 year before he decided to fully retire from esports due to health complications. Now, besides T1, there are a bunch of other Korean esports teams, and some of those really popular ones are KT Rolster, Gen G, D plus Kia, and DRX. These are all the popular Korean teams that compete on their tournaments in South Korea and on a global scale. Now, like any other sport, you need to have training. Esports players aren't professionals overnight. Some might be more gifted at games than others, but everyone needs to practice. So all these teams have their own offices and buildings that they all go to. Each team has their own place of practice. Usually they look something like this on the right, where all the team members will be in a room and then they all play together the games on after hours on hours. They'll play games to hone their skills in these tournaments. And besides these teams, besides professional players in the teams, you can practice from like esports academies, which are like schools that are formed from either big teams or organizations that are separate from the teams, and they are used to train new esports players. And after honing their skills, they can hopefully one day become part of a main team on these, such as GGA or Valhalla Arena. And here's a quick little video just to show what one of the training facilities is for T1. Now, as I showed some previous teams from South Korea isn't the only one inside the field, as esports has grown all around the world, and as such, other countries are getting in on the action by creating their own teams. And Team Liquid is an example from Netherlands, G2 Esports, another one from Germany, and FaZe from the US. And there are a bunch of other teams, esports teams that are forming around the world, all from different countries. And all these teams need to have a place to compete in. And so, with the popularity growing, Esports World Cup was formed. And originally, it started as the Electronic Sports World Cup, and this started back as early as 2003. And they did it as a yearly event up to 2018. But after 2018, they took a short break as they needed more funds. But back into starting last year, they were bought out by a company, and they can now be hosted every year, and they're being held in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and it started in 2024, and they are going to be a yearly event from here on out. And here's a video explaining specifically what the Esports World Cup is all about.
This is the Esports World Cup 2025, and it just got bigger. Over 2,000 and endurance. With a life-changing prize pool of over $70 million on the line, the stakes have never been higher.
But only one victor into the grand finals.
The prize money will be distributed across the main event, MVP awards, and the qualifiers. And on top of that, an additional $27 million is up for grabs in the cross-game competition, Club Championship. The week of July 7th, the action kicks off with 7 weeks of intense competition. The world's top esports clubs will go head-to-head across 24 of the biggest games in esports.
Savage into Leona, but that's amazing.
Every match, every moment, every play brings us closer to one question. Who will rise above the rest?
They will march on to the semifinals.
Every club will be looking to challenge the 2024 title holders, Team Falcons. At the end, the club champions will be crowned.
And there it is, reign supreme at the Esports World Cup.
Here's what it takes to come out on top. Each club can compete in all 25 tournaments to earn points and climb the club championship leaderboard. The more points a club accumulates by the end of the tournament, the higher its ranking. The club with the most points wins the EWC and is crowned the best esports club in the world, taking home $7 million. But this isn't just a competition. The Esports World Cup will transform Riyadh into the best gaming festival ever. Esports fandom meets gaming culture, offering visitors immersive experiences across more than 50,000 square meters. This will be a true celebration of everything that makes gaming great. The world will be watching. Be there. Witness the action.
His phenomenal was absolutely gone.
See you in Riyadh.
Okay.
So as South Korea has dominated in esports, given their competitive nature and ease of access to playing video games with the high-speed internet and PC bongs, given a very easy way to get into gaming, esports has become very popular. But to have a greater influence, they've expanded, the esports industry expanded further to multiple industries and other forms of media to appeal to the more of the non-gaming audience rather than the audience that already has, the gamers. And the clearest example of this cultural expansion is the creation of KDA, a virtual K-pop girl group whose members are characters from League of Legends, champions that you can play as. KDA debuted in 2018 with their song Pop Stars at the League of Legends World Championship Finals, nobly hosted in Incheon, South Korea. And this is more than a song release, it was an augmented reality performance where the animated characters performed alongside their real-life vocalists, two of whom who were members of the popular K-pop group Idol. Here you can see is this song performed live during the opening ceremony of the 2018 League of Legends World Championship Finals. And so the KDA project leveraged the global appeal of Korean pop culture with the large production quality and aesthetic, further introducing the League of Legends IP to a massive non-gaming music audience. And the success validated Riot Games, the developer of League of Legends, position as a music label, leading to the creation of other very popular virtual groups, including Pentakill, a virtual heavy metal band consisting of characters who are very much related to death, as well as True Damage, a virtual hip hop group who actually performed its single Giants at the 2019 World Championship Finals, similar to how KDA performed Pop Stars, also using an augmented reality performance. And so these multi-genre musical ventures represented one of the most innovative way a gaming franchise has ever successfully merged with not just the video game industry, but the global music industry. However, this continues forward beyond just the global music industry. It actually goes into the film industry, where, again, League of Legends inspired the hit Netflix show Arcane. And Arcane, produced by the French studio Vertige, won just off of the second season alone 4 Primetime Emmy Awards, earning a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, as well as 9 out of 10 on IMDb. And with the very large success of Arcane, it went back to League of Legends itself, impacting things such as skins, where Arcane were versions of the in-game characters, similar to how it was for the music, KDA, Pentakill, and True Damage, but there were also Arcane versions of champions that you can play as, such as Vi and Jinx, two very important characters in Arcane. And even led to additional characters from the show actually being added into the game, such as Mel Medarda, as well as her mother, and Bessa Medarda. And the idea of the success of this Netflix show, the series, alongside KDA, reinforced South Korea's status as a digital content producer. And although the primary animation studio is French for Arcane, the immense global demand for this sort of content, which is rooted in the competitive ecosystem of esports, Arcane's quality distributed through Netflix acts as a very influential piece of content from South Korea, demonstrating how the nation's technological and storytelling production skills were able to impact such a massive audience. And so with that, there are a few discussion questions for our viewers, such as how did South Korea become so dominant in esports? And maybe something that you should search up on your own, such as how has the pari culture impacted South Korea's growth in esports? And with that, thank you very much for listening and watching our presentation. Here are our references if you'd like to do your own research into this subject. But thank you very much for listening.